All right, so if you would introduce the space and yourself.
All right, cool. My name is Chris Thompson. I'm the Executive Director of Generator. We're a makerspace here in Burlington, Vermont.
All right, and the nitty-gritty to start with is, what's the general size of your membership?
So we have, last year we had, over the course of the year, about 420 members. At any one time, we have somewhere between 250 and 300 members.
All right, and do you have what kind of membership options are available for people and organizations in your space?
Lots of different options. So we've got general membership, and that gives you access from 10 a.m. until 9 a.m. at night, 7 days a week, so 77 hours a week. In addition, we have studios that people can rent. We have 22 of those, and that actually gives you 24/7 access to the space. We have volunteer memberships. Our volunteers are super important as far as supporting our space, and that's a reduced rate for giving up 3 hours of your time a week. And what else do we have? Corporate memberships. You can pay a flat fee and get 5 members for your corporation to get some promotional stuff as well. And we also have special relationships with the colleges. We have 2 colleges that each get 50 members apiece for a flat rate for the year.
All right, and let's see, what kind of educational opportunities for the local community and/or members do you have at this space?
We do lots of stuff. Let's see. So we have classes. We have, oh my gosh, about 200 classes a year, and they're everything from. We divide ours up into 3 different groups. You actually have to, in our space, you pay for certification to be able to use a tool. So that's a tool training. Try to keep them as cheap as possible, as quick as possible. Make sure that it's safe and you know how to use the tool. We have classes which are longer format, and classes have a project associated with them, so you actually practice, and it's the best way to really get to learn how to use the tool. A lot of people from outside the space take those. The tool trainings, typically that's just somebody who's in the space, who's a member, uses those, but our classes have become popular just as a fun thing to do. Then we have tons of outreach. We do, I guess, like 12 major programs, and everything from Jumpstart, which is the last Jumpstart program. We had 360 emerging entrepreneurs participating in it. There are 6 free lectures by top people from the region in IP law, in branding, in financial literacy, all sorts of different things. That's actually free to attend, and then actually 4 of those people were selected as a cohort, and they actually received a stipend, a free studio, classes, and mentorship to help them launch their businesses, and that was super successful. We have, as I said, probably 12 major programs like that, which are free outreach to the community, and so they're very much outward focused and very much about giving back to our community. Those are the education. So there's lots of stuff going on. Go to the website if you want to see all the details.
All right, and so here's an interesting question that comes up in some spaces as I've traveled is, do you own all the equipment? Does the space own the equipment, or are there do members loan some of the equipment to the space, and how do you handle those ownerships?
Yeah, typically we own everything, or things have been donated to us. We have very close relationships with both Champlain College and the University of Vermont, and so both of them have donated equipment to us. A lot of individual philanthropists have donated money to buy equipment. Right now we're experimenting with one thing, which is we just got into blacksmith work, and we didn't know enough about it, so a member came in who wanted to teach blacksmithing, and he brought a forge with him and some basic equipment. So we actually, for the first time, used his equipment for a little while until we got up to speed, and now we're debating whether we'll actually purchase that. But that was more about experience and knowing what to get rather than the financial aspect of it.
As far as membership, voting rights, and board, what kind of structure does your organization hold? and paid
So-
staff as well as.
Yeah, so we actually have a very strong board. The board actually are the founders. It was actually myself and 4 other folks started it about 5 years ago, and I was originally a board member. It's a very strong board, very good. We have legal, financial, HR. My gosh, we have a lot of people who really help us with our professional end of things, and very good fundraising as well, which is the secret. Probably is a little different about this this makerspace, that we have a budget of about $600,000 a year. We raise about 400,000 of that, a little less now. So we're about 1/3 to 2/3 philanthropy, and so that's sort of why we're able to accomplish a fair amount, because we've gone out and raised a lot of money. So in the 5 years since we first got together, 4 years since we've been open, it sort of gave us a head start. So that's our board. We have 12 members on our board, and we have 3 actual generator members who are actually cycle in and out of the board. They're elected by the other members, and then the board and those members all make the key decisions. But we have 2 full-time staff. We're about to have a 3rd full-time staff. That's myself, I'm an executive director. We have an operations sort of membership manager and bookkeeper, and then we have a shop operations lead. But we have tons of part-time, half-time people. We have marketing, we have outreach, we have education, we have for a few hours a week various shop leads, and then a lot of our members do freelance work as the educators, so they teach the classes and we pay them.
Your approach to.
Oh, do you want me to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what the tactic in our research, I was mentioning before that my graduate thesis was the original design for this space, and I did a lot of research about what the problems people have run into making space or creating spaces like this. And so financially, we had to ramp up fairly quickly, and one of the things that we've settled on is to grow membership. We need to, we have a 3-year plan to become sustainable without as much philanthropy as we have, and so the goal is to grow membership and grow our classes and our other earned income. And what we've settled on, and it seems to be successful, is that we do lots and lots of outreach. We do lots of free programs. We do everything from the Jump Start that I was talking about to, we have a Somali women's sewing circle. We're helping Somali women start micro businesses and teaching them how to sew in the process. We have, as I said, tons of programs like that. They get a lot of press. People really like what we do. We're very popular in town, and people are excited about us. And because of that, there's a lot of word of mouth, and there's a lot of stories about us in the newspapers and in other organizations. So because of that, we have lots of partnerships with different organizations. All of these different programs I do, there's another nonprofit that I partner with, and that broadens our reach, because we're really a social impact nonprofit. Our goal here is to have as much positive impact on the community as we possibly can. And so all this outreach has 2 benefits. It helps the community, and it gets the word out about us and gets people excited about us, so we get more members, and it makes our fundraising easier.
All right.
Is
And
that the question?
that's a good. And the other thing I wanted to say is you had some comments earlier about your connections with the art community and the advantages that it's had for your space.
Yeah, so we very consciously, when we were designing the space was designed around the idea of, can you create an environment that actually fosters innovation and ideation, the creation of new ideas. And so we specifically designed the space so that instead of just being technical people or just being artists, it's a hybrid. There's if you go through the studios, there might be a scientist sitting next to an artist, sitting next to an engineer, sitting next to a craftsperson, and they all interact and they all hang out and trade ideas. And that's a very powerful way of working that everybody gets along and everybody supports each other. The community here is super as far as helping each other. But the advantage also was that we came out of the arts world. I was the curator of the local contemporary art museum here downtown. Two of our original other key founders were the president of the board of that organization and one of the a previous director of that organization and a key philanthropist. The three of us got together with the universities and other people. And because we came out of the art world, we were used to raising money all the time. There's very little earned income in the art world. If you're running a contemporary art museum, you go out and raise every penny. And so we were good at fundraising from the start, and we knew how to write grants, and we knew how to work with donors. And so that's a little different probably than some maker spaces. So we kind of hit the ground running, because we were able to raise some money to start with that way.
All right, and okay, the last thing, two things I usually hit a space with, and I hope I got everything decent here today, but the ones I usually hit a space with are, what kinds of things are you interested about learning from other spaces as I go forward?
Oh my God! Well, that's the thing. As a makerspace, you kind of make it up as you go along. We're like a iterative design project, right? We're prototyping as we go, and so we really don't know very much about other makerspaces. We worked with Guy from Artisans Asylum when we were first starting up a long time ago, 5 years ago. But now, everything. We're wondering about how they handle budgets, how they handle the rules around membership, how they handle, the social organization. I like to describe makerspace as being somewhere between a gym membership with tools and a utopian social experiment. And, we're kind of somewhere right in the middle, but there are some that are definitely a gym membership with tools and some that are definitely a social experiment. And so curious about all that sort of stuff. But there's really the practical aspects of running a space. What's your budget? How many members, how many members do you have? How have you gotten those members? Marketing, do you spend money on marketing? Do you actually have, what's your staff composed of? A lot of nitty-gritty financial stuff too, just like how you do it. And insurance, stupid things like that. Insurance is a huge pain for makerspaces, and how do you handle that sort of stuff? So yeah, I'm looking forward to NomCom because we've been just making this up on our own. It would be nice to find out what other people are doing.
All right. And the other question was one that was introduced early on by Worcester, Mass.
Okay.
And it had come up by a few other organizations when I asked the same question since then. And it is, how do you handle burnout?
Oh, you mean from staff and stuff? Yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah, we all work a lot. Like I worked 60 hours last week writing a grant, and that kind of stunk. We've been through a few executive directors. I came on early and did the initial design, and then left to go to grad school or finish my grad school, and we've had two executive directors since then, and I've just got pulled back. I was a board member, just got pulled back as executive director after our last director left. So it's a good question. I mean, we're trying to raise enough money so we can actually staff properly, because once we staff properly, I come from an arts organization where we had enough staff, and that's all about fundraising, and it's all about raising your earned income and being I was a corporate executive, so I'm trying to run it like a real company, and I think that's going to be the secret, because you can't keep on going forever if you're not staffed properly. And you can't rely on volunteers because they're fantastic, but they've got lives and they come and they go over time. And so we've made a choice that our volunteers are very important to us, but we don't absolutely depend upon them because you're going to go in cycles with different folks who have different levels of commitment. So yeah, it's a good question. Right now we're all a little burned out. so we're hoping we figure this one out with the staffing. That would be good, So.
Alrighty, well, thank you for your time. If
You're
there's
welcome.
anything else you think that needs to be said or could be interesting to share with other spaces, feel free to say it.
Yeah, no, it's been a wild ride. We're doing really well. I mean, I have to admit, we've got we've got fairly large membership. our membership's increasing. We seem to be able to raise the money we need to raise on a regular basis, and everybody seems to, it's a good group of people, and people have fun. We're doing interesting things, so and the community's excited about us, so we're doing pretty well. So let's hope we can hang on to it. Thank you.
All right.